The drama is heating up, and this time, Amara La Negra has completely ripped into Princess Love in a scandalous showdown that has shocked fans across the globe. Tensions have been building for months, but this explosive conflict has just reached a boiling point. The gloves are off, and Amara's words are sharp, leaving everyone on the edge of their seats wondering what happened to the friendship they once shared. Amara, known for her unapologetic, in-your-face personality, is not holding back anymore. Princess Love, on the other hand, thought she could keep her cool, but it seems her patience has finally worn thin. What started as a friendly exchange of opinions has turned into a full-blown feud, and the world is watching as these two strong women go head-to-head. Accusations are flying, secrets are being exposed, and emotions are running high. But here's the kicker: no one saw this coming. What's the real reason behind the breakdown of their relationship? Why is Amara so furious? And what does this mean for Princess Love's future in the spotlight? Fans are still reeling, and the internet is on fire with speculation. This feud is not just a typical disagreement, this is a scandal that could change everything. Stay tuned as we dive deep into the shocking details you won't hear anywhere else. It all started innocently enough. Two women, both with careers soaring in the spotlight, once found a bond in their shared experiences. Amara La Negra and Princess Love, two of the most talked about stars on Love and Hip Hop, seemed like unlikely friends at first, but their connection quickly became a staple of the show. Fans adored watching them navigate their personal lives and business ventures, and it seemed like nothing could break their powerful bond. However, things began to shift, and what looked like a friendship, built on mutual respect, slowly transformed into something far more complicated. It was a simple disagreement that ignited the drama. Amara, always vocal about her struggles and opinions, made a bold statement in a private conversation. It was nothing new for the fiery reality star. She's never been one to hold back her thoughts. But when Princess Love overheard Amara's comment about a certain decision regarding a business deal, something snapped. Princess, who had been through her own personal struggles with Ray J and the pressure of the spotlight, took offense. She felt attacked, even though Amara had never directly mentioned her. The tension simmered for days, and the slightest remark during a group event was enough to set the stage for an all-out war. Princess Love couldn't hold back anymore. She snapped, confronting Amara in front of the others, accusing her of not respecting her position in the group. "You don't get to talk to me like that," Princess spat, her voice low but filled with venom. "You're acting like I'm beneath you." Amara, who had always seen Princess as an equal, was taken aback. But that's when the gloves came off. "Don't try to make me the villain, Princess," Amara fired back. "I've been nothing but real with you. But you want to start playing games? Fine. Let's see who wins in the end." The air in the room thickened with tension. Everyone around them froze, unsure of how to step in. This wasn't just a friendly spat anymore. This was personal, and the venom behind their words had already begun to poison the entire group. But the thing that fans didn't know, the part of the drama that no one had been privy to, was that this conflict was just the tip of the iceberg. Princess Love, who had always been known for her sultry demeanor and glamorous lifestyle, was not one to back down easily. But there was something different about Amara that Princess hadn't expected. Amara's fiery attitude had a way of cutting through the noise and taking the spotlight. Princess had always been the one to command attention, but now she was starting to feel like her place was being threatened. Amara wasn't just another cast member, she was becoming the voice that people listened to. It wasn't long before Juju, another key figure in the group, became involved. Juju, who had always tried to remain neutral in the drama between the ladies, found herself caught in the middle of this growing rift. She had a history with both Amara and Princess, and she knew the pain they had both experienced. But what happened next would change the trajectory of their relationship forever. At one of the show's more intimate events, where the group had gathered to discuss personal matters, Amara and Princess were forced to confront their differences head-on. The conversation quickly escalated as Juju tried to play peacemaker. "You two need to calm down," Juju interjected, stepping between them. "This isn't how we solve things." But Amara wasn't having it. "No, Juju, this isn't something I'm going to let slide," she said firmly. "Princess thinks she can disrespect me and get away with it. That's not how this works." Princess, never one to shy away from a fight, snapped back. "Oh, so now I'm the bad guy? You're the one who's been throwing shade all this time? Don't try to flip the script, Amara." You're not fooling me. The drama was escalating quickly, and it was clear that the simmering tension between the two women was about to explode into something far more dangerous. The other cast members could only watch as the verbal exchange grew more intense, knowing that their involvement in this feud could easily turn against them. But it wasn't just the cast members who were watching. Social media was buzzing, and fans of the show were already weighing in. As clips from the confrontation made their way online, viewers were torn. Some sided with Amara, admiring her for standing her ground and refusing to be silenced. Others felt that Princess was justified in her anger, viewing Amara's behavior as disrespectful and overly aggressive. Behind the scenes, things were just as volatile. Ray J, Princess's husband, had his own thoughts about the situation. Known for his outspoken personality and his loyalty to his family, Ray J was not one to sit back and let people talk about his wife without repercussions. He made it clear to the producers and the crew that he wasn't happy with how things were unfolding. He had his own set of issues with Amara, and he wasn't afraid to step in if things got too out of hand. It wasn't just the men who were worried. Yandy Smith, another prominent member of the cast, was quickly becoming involved in the drama, even though she tried to keep a low profile. Yandy had been a mentor to both Amara and Princess at various points in their lives, and the breakdown of their friendship deeply concerned her. She knew that the stakes were higher than just a fight between two women. The outcome of this feud could affect the entire dynamic of the cast, and no one knew how it would play out. But as the weeks passed, it became clear that the situation was far from resolved. The arguments continued, both on camera and behind the scenes. Amara, who had always struggled with being misunderstood, was feeling more isolated than ever. She had been accused of being too aggressive, too emotional, and too controlling by some of the cast members. Princess, on the other hand, felt like she was being pushed into a corner, with no one standing up for her. But then came the final straw, a shocking reveal that would change everything. As more footage of the ongoing tension between Amara and Princess leaked online, a shocking new development surfaced. It wasn't just the women's personal grievances that were fueling the drama, it was also business. Amara's business dealings, which she had kept largely private until now, were suddenly thrown into the public eye. The conflict with Princess had opened the door to Amara's true ambitions. As she began to reveal her true career goals, it became clear that Amara wasn't just trying to make a name for herself in reality TV, she was positioning herself as a business mogul. And it was no secret that she was willing to burn bridges. To get there, with each new revelation, the fans' reactions grew louder. The entire dynamic of love and hip-hop was changing before their eyes, and everyone, cast, crew, and viewers alike, was left to wonder, would Amara— But it wasn't just the fans who were fueling the fire. Juju had slowly started taking sides, and her involvement in the feud only made things worse. While Amara had hoped Juju could remain neutral, the reality star seemed to have become more aligned with Princess. Their friendship had always been based on mutual respect, but Juju's actions spoke volumes. One day, Amara and Juju came face to face at an event that was supposed to be a celebration. The room was filled with laughter and chatter, but the tension between the two women was palpable. It didn't take long for Amara to approach Juju, her voice a mix of frustration and confusion. "I thought you had my back," she said, her words sharp. "But now I see where you stand. You're out here playing both sides, Juju." Juju tried to stay calm, but the truth in Amara's words hit her hard. "I'm not playing both sides, Amara," she responded, her tone firm but not defensive. "But I can't ignore what's happening between you and Princess. You both are acting out of control. You're not making it easy to support you." Amara's eyes narrowed. "You're picking her side because it's easier. You're choosing to stay quiet, hoping it blows over. But it's not gonna blow over, Juju. Not this time." The rest of the room could feel the atmosphere shift. Yandy, who had been trying to mediate the situation, couldn't stay silent anymore. "Enough, both of you," Yandy interjected. "This is not how we solve things. We've all had our share of drama, but this is beyond personal. You two need to talk and fix this." Amara shook her head. "You don't get it, Yandy. This isn't just about us anymore. The whole cast is divided. Everyone's either picking Princess's side or mine, and it's ruining everything." The words hung in the air like a ticking time bomb. Princess Love had already made her intentions clear on social media, posting cryptic messages about loyalty, betrayal, and strength. She was taking jabs at Amara, publicly mocking her attempts to maintain a friendship with her. "I've been quiet for too long. Princess posted one night, captioning a photo of herself and her husband, Ray J. But some people think they can tear down what's mine. Not gonna happen. I'll protect what's mine, no matter who's in my way. It didn't take long for Amara to fire back. People love to talk about loyalty, but when the tables are turned, they can't handle it. You can only pretend to be something you're not for so long. Let's see how long you can keep up the act, princess. This online war was now escalating, and the consequences were becoming increasingly clear. Fans of both women were divided, each taking sides, while others simply enjoyed the spectacle of it all. Reality TV fans love a good feud, and this one was rapidly becoming one of the most talked about moments in the show's history. But what nobody saw coming was the personal revelation that would send shockwaves through the entire love and hip-hop world. One fateful day, Ray J posted a cryptic message that changed everything. "I'll step in when my wife's name is being dragged through the mud," he wrote, his tone leaving no room for ambiguity. No one gets to come for Princess and think they're safe. Ray J had always been known for his fiery temper, but fans had never seen him take this kind of public stance before. His loyalty to his wife was undeniable, but now it was clear that his involvement in this feud was going to take things to a whole new level. The drama wasn't just between the women anymore, it was becoming a family affair. Amara, who had always tried to remain above the fray, found herself dragged deeper into the conflict. Her fans rallied behind her, but the negative press was taking its toll. The stress was beginning to show on Amara's face. She couldn't escape the constant barrage of online attacks, and no matter how much she tried to move on, the drama kept following her. Why is it always me? Amara posted late one night, her frustration evident in every word. "I stay true to myself. I stay true to my craft, and yet people always want to tear me down. But I won't let them win." Her defiance was admirable, but it was clear that the pressure was starting to break her. The producers knew this was the turning point, the point where the feud between Amara and Princess Love was going to affect the show in ways no one expected. Behind the scenes, Yandy Smith and Juju were attempting to calm things down, but it wasn't working. Every conversation felt like it was leading them nowhere. Juju had become more and more distant from Amara, and Yandy was stuck in the middle. She had tried to be a peacemaker, but with both women so entrenched in their positions, it was clear that things were only getting worse. The cast was now divided. On one side, Princess Love and her supporters, including Ray J, stood firm. On the other, Amara and her diehard fans fought back, vowing to not let Princess or anyone else discredit her. The tension was at an all-time high, and with each passing day, the drama seemed to grow more personal, more cutting. The show's production team, who had been closely following the developments, knew that they had something explosive on their hands, but the stakes were higher than ever. If this feud didn't resolve soon, it could destroy the carefully crafted dynamic of the show. The producers knew they had to step in, but even they weren't sure how to handle the brewing storm. As the tension between Amara and Princess reached a breaking point, their next meeting seemed inevitable. It was clear that they could no longer avoid each other. Things had gone too far. Their next confrontation would be a pivotal moment that fans wouldn't soon forget. The question now was, who would come out on top? The stage was set for what was about to be a defining moment in the entire Love and Hip Hop franchise. Amara and Princess, once casual acquaintances, were now the center of a full-blown war. Everything had led to this next encounter. It wasn't just the fans watching anymore, it was their families, their careers, and their very reputations on the line. The feud had consumed them both. After weeks of back and forth on social media, it was time for the two women to meet face-to-face at an event neither of them wanted to attend. The event, a gala for charity, was the type of occasion where everyone in the room was expected to look their best and maintain a sense of decorum. But there was no denying the animosity that hung heavy in the air as Amara and Princess arrived. Amara, ever the star, walked into the venue with her head held high, a mixture of pride and frustration written all over her face. She had been putting on a brave front for her fans, trying to show that she was above the drama, but the truth was, the situation had taken a personal toll on her. She couldn't keep pretending everything was okay, not when her name was being dragged through the mud on a daily basis. Princess, on the other hand, arrived with Ray J by her side. There was no mistaking the fact that they were a united front, ready to face whatever came their way. Ray J's protective instincts were clear. His presence meant that Princess wasn't going into this alone. He'd made it abundantly clear on social media that he was backing her, And that meant Amara better be ready for what was coming. The tension in the room was palpable as Amara and Princess locked eyes from across the venue. It didn't take long before their paths crossed. The air felt thick, like something was about to explode. Amara stood still for a moment, her eyes narrowed. The crowd around them was buzzing with excitement as the two women exchanged barbs. But it wasn't just the other guests who were watching. The cameras were rolling, capturing every heated exchange. The production team knew this was going to be the most explosive moment of the season. Amara and Princess were both on the edge, and only one could come out victorious. Ray J, visibly agitated, stepped forward once again, this time putting himself directly in between the women. Amara, you need to keep my wife's name out of your mouth. I don't care what issues you have with her, but you've crossed a line. The words stung Amara, but she wasn't backing down. Ray, I've had enough of this. I've had enough of being silent while you and your wife try to act like I'm the problem here. This isn't about her and me. It's about you, too. You're just as much a part of this mess as she is. Princess, now visibly enraged, looked at Ray J for support. Tell her, babe, she said, her voice dripping with contempt. Tell her how it's going to be. She doesn't get to come at me like this without facing the consequences. Ray J didn't respond at first, his gaze fixed firmly on Amara. There was a moment of silence before he spoke, his voice low and filled with menace. If you keep this up, Amara, you'll regret it. You're messing with the wrong people. Amara wasn't intimidated, though. She stood her ground, her eyes locked on Princess and Ray J. You can't scare me, Ray. You've tried to play this game before, but I'm done playing nice. You want a war? You've got it. As the words hung in the air, the room went silent for a moment. Everyone was waiting for the next move. The tension was unbearable. Then, out of nowhere, Juju stepped into the scene, her calm presence a stark contrast to the volatile exchange happening before her. She looked at both Amara and Princess, her expression unreadable. Is this what we've come to? Juju said softly, but the sharpness in her voice was undeniable. You two were friends once, but now you're letting this ruin everything. It's not just about the show anymore, it's personal. The room was still, all eyes now on Juju as she stood between the two women. Her words were heavy, but they didn't seem to reach either of the feuding stars. Both Amara and Princess were too far gone to care about anything other than winning this fight. You're both wrong, Juju added, her gaze moving between them. And the fact that you're dragging everyone else into this is pathetic. You're letting this stupid feud define you. Amara and Princess exchanged a glance, but neither one of them was ready to back down. I don't need anyone's approval, Juju, Amara shot back, her voice trembling with anger but also hurt. I've been fighting my entire life to get where I am, and now you want me to just give up because Princess is throwing a tantrum? Princess sneered. She always does this, doesn't she? Turns everything into a sob story. You're not the victim here, Amara. You made this mess yourself. The tension in the room had reached a breaking point. The cameras continued to roll, capturing the spectacle of what had become an all-out war. The public had been watching, waiting, and now the battle was unfolding in real time. But it wasn't just the women who were feeling the heat. Ray J's reputation was on the line, Juju's friendships were now in jeopardy, and Amara, who had been a beacon of strength for so long, was starting to crack under the pressure. As the night wore on, it was clear that this feud wasn't going to die down anytime soon. The aftermath of this confrontation would have lasting consequences. The world was watching, and they were eager to see how this dramatic showdown would end. The heat of the moment lingered in the air as Amara, Princess, Ray J, and Juju stood. In the middle of the gathering, the weight of their confrontation hanging over them like an unspoken storm. The gala was supposed to be a night of celebration, but instead, it had turned into a battlefield. Every move, every word exchanged between the women felt like a calculated step toward destruction, and there was no going back now. After a long, tense silence, it was Ray J who finally broke the quiet. His voice, low but fierce, cut through the tension. Amara, you've got one last chance to back down. You're not just messing with Princess now, you're messing with me, and trust me, that's something you'll regret. Amara stood tall, her posture rigid, her lips pressed into a thin line as she absorbed his words. There was no fear in her eyes, only defiance. You think I care about your threats, Ray? You think I'm scared of your little family? I've been through worse than this, and I'm not backing down now. If you think you can intimidate me, you're sadly mistaken. Princess, sensing an opportunity to escalate things, scoffed. You're delusional if you think you can take on my whole family, Amara. You're nothing but a side note to me, a footnote in this story. My man is here, and he's got my back. You've got no one but your drama. Amara's eyes narrowed, and for a second, the room felt like it had frozen in time. Then, with a fiery resolve, she fired back, "At least. I don't hide behind my man to do my talking. You want to talk about drama, princess? It's you who's been trying to pull me down, trying to tear me apart publicly. I'm not your punching bag, and I sure as hell won't let you destroy me like you've done with everyone else in your life." The crowd around them shifted uncomfortably, sensing the brewing storm. Cameras whirred, capturing every heated moment, and fans were already exploding on social media, voicing their shock and excitement. This was bigger than just a personal feud. It was a full-blown spectacle. Juju, who had been silently observing the chaos unfold, couldn't take it any longer. Her patience had worn thin, and her need for resolution had finally taken over. "Enough, both of you!" she snapped, her voice a sharp contrast to the previous venom. "This is ridiculous. What happened to the women who once had each other's backs? What happened to the bond we shared? You're letting all of this petty nonsense ruin everything. And for what? Some temporary satisfaction?" Amara looked at Juju with frustration. "Juju, you don't get it. Princess has been throwing shade at me for months, and now that she has her husband involved, she thinks she can come for me without consequences. She wants to make me look weak in front of the world, and I'm not going to let that slide." Princess, with a look of superiority, tilted her head. "You're too sensitive, Amara. You're not used to being called out. Welcome to the real world. People like you who thrive on drama get exposed sooner or later. You think I'm just doing this for fun? No, I'm defending myself, and you're not going to drag me down." Ray J crossed his arms, now fully leaning, into the tension. "It's funny. You come in here like you're the victim, but you've been pushing Princess for so long. What did you think was going to happen? You wanted to fight, and now you've got it." Amara turned her gaze to Ray J, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "Oh, I didn't realize you were her personal bodyguard. Maybe you should have stepped in sooner when she was spreading lies about me. Maybe then we wouldn't be in this mess." Princess could barely contain herself. Her hands clenched into fists and her face turned a shade of red that matched the fury in her eyes. "You've crossed the line, Amara. I don't know why you think you're so untouchable. You've been causing chaos for way too long, and it's time someone put you in your place." At that moment, Amara's frustration boiled over. "Put me in my place? You think you're some queen who's untouchable? You've got so many skeletons in your closet, and I'm ready to air them all out. You want to talk about putting me in my place? Let's see who's really got power when I'm done exposing everything." The words hung in the air like a dangerous promise. There was a fire in Amara's eyes, and the room could feel the tension, reaching its peak. This was no longer just about an argument. It was about power, about who would emerge victorious and who would be left in the dust. As Amara and Princess continued their war of words, Yandy Smith stepped forward again, desperate, to de-escalate the situation before it spiraled completely out of control. She had seen these types. Their rivalry had become more than just personal. It was now a spectacle. And for Amara and Princess, it was a battle that neither of them could afford to lose. The next day, the fallout from the explosive encounter at the gala was everywhere. Social media was ablaze with reactions from fans, celebrities, and insiders, all chiming in on the epic feud between Amara La Negra and Princess Love. Videos of their heated argument were already circulating, with millions of views. Every word they had exchanged was dissected, analyzed, and criticized by the public. Fans were stunned, some expressing shock, while others sided with one or the other. "Amara was right," one fan tweeted. "Princess always acts like she's so above everyone. She's the one who started this mess. They're Team Amara." Meanwhile, another user posted, "Princess had every right to defend herself. Amara's just trying to stir up drama for attention, or is our Team Princess?" But there was one thing that everyone could agree on. This feud was far from over, and it was only getting more intense. Amara La Negra, known for her fierce personality and unapologetic confidence, wasn't about to let her dignity get questioned by anyone, especially not Princess Love. The previous night's confrontation had only fueled her fire. The words exchanged at the gala were still fresh in her mind, each one like a spark to an already raging inferno. She knew that her public image was at stake. Ray J and Princess Love were powerful figures in the entertainment industry, and Amara's name was now tied to one of the most explosive scandals of the year. The stakes were higher than ever, and Amara wasn't going to let herself be portrayed as the villain in this story. Amara, sitting in her hotel room, scrolled through her phone, reading the comments and posts from her fans. She could feel the weight of the situation bearing down on her. It wasn't just about proving herself to the world anymore, it was about maintaining her reputation and standing strong in the face of a barrage of criticism. But then, a message popped up on her phone. Princess. Love had posted something new. The post was short, but the message was clear. It read, "Not worth my time. The fake will always find a way to get attention. Keep doing you, Amara. Debrace, I am above this." Amara's eyes widened as she read the message, her fingers hovering over the keyboard. Princess had just thrown down the gauntlet, and Amara wasn't one to back down. If Princess thought she could dismiss her so easily, she was in for a rude awakening. Amara's response was quick and sharp. "You want to act like you're above this, huh? Maybe you should stop pretending. You've been throwing shade at me for months, and now you want to play the victim? Nice try." Not today, Princess. As soon as she hit send, her phone buzzed with notifications. The response was immediate. Fans were rallying behind Amara, fueling the fire even further. "Yes, Amara! Let them know! Mit der Team Amara," one fan posted. Another chimed in, "Princess is all talk. She doesn't have the guts to go toe-to-toe with Amara. We gave her Queen Amara." Meanwhile, Princess Love wasn't about to let Amara have the last word. She quickly posted another message. "You're just mad because I'm living my best life, and you're still trying to get attention from drama. Stay mad. Unbothered." The social media war had officially begun. The tension continued to build as both women posted back and forth, each one trying to outdo the other. But while the online drama was playing out, things were about to take a shocking turn. Ray J, who had been caught in the middle of the drama between the two women, decided he'd had enough of the constant back and forth. He was tired of watching his wife, Princess, get dragged through the mud, and he knew he needed to do something to protect his family's name. In an unexpected move, Ray J took to his own social media account. His voice was steady, but there was a noticeable edge to his tone as he addressed his followers. "Amara, I've tried to be patient with you, but now you've gone too far. It's one thing to attack me, but you've gone after my wife. And that's where I draw the line. You want to fight? You want to play games? Fine. But remember, I'm not the one to mess with." Fans immediately went wild. "Uh-oh, Amara. Looks like Ray J is coming for you now." Drama alert. Another fan posted, "Ray J is speaking facts, though. Amara's been too extra with this whole thing. My team Princess and Ray J." But Amara wasn't about to let Ray J's threat slide. If anything, it made her more determined to stand her ground. She responded with a post of her own, directly addressing Ray J and Princess Love. "Ray J, I don't need you to defend me, and I sure as hell don't need you to tell me how to handle my business. If Princess can't handle the heat, she needs to stay out of the kitchen. This is between me and her. Keep your ego in check. Stay in your lane." The feud had officially escalated to new heights. No one could have predicted that things would spiral so quickly. What began as a disagreement between two women had now turned into an all-out war involving Ray J, Princess Love, and Amara La Negra. The media had already picked up on the story, with outlets running stories about the drama. Articles were popping up everywhere, speculating on who would come out on top. The public had become obsessed with the scandal. Everyone was waiting for the next shocking development. In the midst of all the chaos, Juju, who had been trying to stay out of the drama, couldn't help but feel the tension building. She'd known both Princess and Amara for years, but now she was starting to feel like the weight of their battles was too much for her to ignore. She didn't want to pick sides, but she couldn't stand by and watch the people she cared about destroy each other over something so petty. She finally decided to reach out to Yandy Smith, knowing that the two of them could help mediate and hopefully bring some resolution to this mess. It was clear to her that if they didn't intervene soon, this drama was only going to get worse. Juju's message was simple, but to the point. "Yandy, we need to talk. This is getting out of control. I don't want to see anyone hurt from this anymore. It's time we step in and fix this before it's too late." As the drama raged on, one thing became clear. Amara La Negra and Princess Love were not going to back down. The world was watching, and they weren't about to let their rivalries fade into the background. The stakes had never been higher. Only time would tell who would come out on top,